Hi everybody, I want to take a moment to show you how to use the contacts feature of our new email system. So if I wanted to have built-in contacts for students, for teachers, for parents, for family members, for friends, whatever the case may be, instead of having to look up their address each time, I'm able to create a contact where all I have to do is type in their name and I can reach that information. So once I log into my Bodine account, I'm going to come up here to my top left-hand corner and I'm going to come over to where it says Contacts, and I'm going to click on that. Once into Contacts, all of us should have a built-in contact that says faculty@bodineschool.org. I'll explain how this can be used in a few moments, but essentially this is a way for you to email all faculty and all staff at Bodine. So if you had an announcement or you had something you want to include everyone on, instead of typing in each address individually, you can just simply type in faculty@bodineschool.org and it'll reach everyone. The same is true, or could be true, if you wanted to create a mailing list for the parents in your particular class. So if you're a third grade teacher and you wanted to make sure that all the parents in your class were on one group, you could create a group that for my parents. Or you could go, if you're a middle school teacher and you want to be able to email all your students, you can create a group for all my students, or whatever the case may be. But to start with, I'm going to come over here to my little plus person right here, and I'm going to start by creating one individual contact. So I click on that, and you can see that I now have some information I can fill out. Obviously, I want to give the name, so let's say I'm going to create contact for Josh Clark. I can give the title. I do not have to. A lot of this information is for your own personal use. The title, company, phone numbers, addresses, websites, none of that is going to be included in the email correspondence. But if it's a way for you to keep up for that information if you wanted to. I certainly want to include the email. So I'm going to put joshclark@bodineschool.org. If this is a personal email, or this is a personal contact I'm creating, I can designate this as the work email. And then here I can create, I'll go back up to email. Under email, I can add a home or other email address. So I have the option of which one I send it to. And obviously the same is true with phone and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to use these, so I'm going to go ahead and remove them. I can add an address if I'd like. Again, it's just an easy way for me to be able to find information about my contacts, because anywhere I have an internet connection, I can reach my contact information. I don't have to worry about if I left my notebook at home with this parent's phone number, or I left my notebook at home with this individual's address. Wherever I have an email connection, wherever I can log into my Bodine account, I can access this information. But again, that is all completely optional. Same with the website, same with the birthday. I can also add notes. So if, for instance, this was a parent and the parents were divorced and the mother's last name was different than the son, I can add a note to myself and say, this is, Jane Clark, but she is the mother of Ted Smith, whatever it is I wanted to do. So once I have the information that I feel is important, I come and click Save. So now you can see that under my contacts, I have both faculty and I also have Josh Clark. And you can see that Josh Clark is clicked. So let's say for whatever reason I found myself needing to email all of faculty at bodineschool.org, and I needed to email Josh Clark. And let's pretend that they're completely separate entities, but for whatever reason I find myself oftentimes wanting to email both of them. What I can do is I can click on Josh Clark, then I click on faculty@bodineschool.com, and I can come over here and I can add them to a new group. So I can create this group and I can call it whatever I like. I'm going to call it my test group. And I'm going to say OK. So now, in addition to my contacts right here, which include faculty at Bodine and Josh Clark, I can come over here to test. And under this test group, I have faculty and Josh Clark. And I can edit this and change the name of it. Or if I were to create another contact, actually, let me back out just one second. If I was under my contacts again and I wanted to create a new contact, and I wanted to include Melanie Clark, and I said, Melanie at gmail.com, and I go ahead and I save that. Now, Melanie's a part of my contacts. Now I have 3 contacts. Now, if I find, I really want to add Melanie to my test group. I find that I often want to group her into emails I send to both faculty and Josh Clark. Again, I just come, I make sure Melanie Clark is highlighted. I go to groups, and now I can add her to my test group. So now you can see that my test group has 3 people. And again, you can have individual contacts. You can group your contacts into groups. You can always go back and edit. It's whatever you'd like. If I come here and I say, you know what, Josh Clark's email address changed. All I have to do is click on it. I come here to edit, and I can come and I can change the email address, change it to whatever I like, and then hit save. And again, this is a great way for you to add groups for parents, groups for students, groups maybe you want to contact just your other or your fellow third grade teachers, or you want to contact, you want a group of possible substitutes, and you create a list of, you add all the substitute email addresses as contacts, and then you group them together as a group. It's just a nice, easy way to contact people. So now that I've created my contacts, I come back here and I click on Mail. And I want to compose a new mail. And I want to send an email to the faculty. I mentioned that one of the groups you already have created, or the contacts you already have created, I should say, is faculty. I come here and I start typing, and you can see as I type FA, right here, my contacts are already popping up. So instead of having to finish, I can just click that. Now let's say I also want to include Josh Clark. So I come here, I start typing, and then there's Josh Clark. But I say, you know what? I also want to include that test group. All those individuals that I have grouped into my test group are really important, and I think they would benefit from this as well. So I come and I start typing the name of the group. You can see right here it pops up. I click on test, and it automatically includes all the individuals within that group. So not only, and that's also a nice way for me to double check and make sure I'm including everyone that I want, and to also make sure that I'm not including someone that I ultimately don't want. So let's say I want everyone in the test group, but I didn't really want Melanie Clark. So it gives me the option here of going ahead and deleting Melanie. Everybody else from the test group is included, but I don't have to worry about, I'm still able to use that test group, that classification, and still make minor edits without having to go through and add everyone's name individually, or going through and changing the group for one particular instance. And then again, once I have that, I add my subject, I add my context, and then I can hit send.